Hey guys. So today was the 15th anniversary ever since Black Swan originally came out. And I saw the movie maybe like around a year ago. I was watching it when I was coming back from Boston, and my girlfriend had recommended it at the time. And, it was just one of those films that I was always like, maybe I'll like it. I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe some like guy part of me was like, maybe this is gonna be a chick film. I like chick films. I don't normally think like that, but I think that there was a part of me that thought that way because I was like, why didn't I see this film years ago? Because it came out in 2010. And I watched it and I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was amazing. I thought Natalie Portman's performance was fantastic. I thought that the way that it was structured was just so great and just a very unique film. The score is great and all these things, right? All these things. I can't even heap enough praise for it. It just feels like across the board, it's one of those few perfect films that if you watch it, you would consider it also to be a modern classic because it just feels like it gets everything right. I mean, the cinematography, even the usage of the computer effects, and how seamless it is, even for its time. It looks. I know it's 2010 is not that long ago, but I mean, shit. There's movies that come out now and they look horrendous. Even with the advancement of technology, there's just if a director or the editor do not know what the hell they're doing with their technology, they're going to make it look like shit and think it's fine. So you still have to praise even when a film can make it look seamless, right? I remember first watching it, I was like, oh, this is odd. This isn't where I thought the film would go. So there's always that sort of disconnect in the beginning when you watch a film where you have the expectations, but they don't go exactly where you want them to go. And even I was able to let it go at the time because I really didn't know where this film was just going to go. All that I knew about it was that it was a horror film about, ballerinas, and that's about it. And, I like Natalie Portman. She's got a lot of great work. I had no idea Mila Kunis was in it, and the casting like Winona Ryder and I'm not sure what the man's name is, but the male in the film that runs the whole play. I forget what he's called in the film. Either way, I think that the casting was fantastic. It's just a film that if you watch it, you're blown away, right? So had that experience. I loved it. I was like, okay, awesome. If I ever get the chance to see it in the theater, I'm absolutely going to take the chance. 2 months ago or maybe a month ago, I was notified because I'm part of like the AMC stubs member thing. I go to the movies all the time, so it just made sense for me to get that on a monthly basis. And I live near New York, always going to New York, always near the AMC on 42nd, which has the IMAX. So it made sense. If I can get these tickets for free, it's a no-brainer. Because sometimes you might even pay like $14, $20 for a ticket, and it's like that's just for one film. And I can see up to like 16 movies a month. Not sponsored, by the way, but I'm just saying if you're a film nut and you want to have access to these sorts of things, like I even have access to like certain premieres and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just fantastic for anybody that loves films. I got the notification that this film was coming out, and I was like, okay, gotta get that ticket ASAP. So, I get there, it's in IMAX, which is just like, just a dream. It's a dream to watch it in an IMAX theater, I think, for any film, really. And, it's not even that packed out. Weirdly enough, I think a large group of people that were supposed to be like right in the middle just didn't show up. And so I was like, oh, perfect. I got like one of the side seats, but now I can sit right in the middle. So I'm like right, smack dab in the middle. And, I remember most of the beats of the film, don't forget anything too much. And I just think that there's something about rewatching a film and solidifying it in your mind as something that, at the time I considered the film, I like rated it a 10 on IMDb. I was like, there's no way that I could even consider this to be below a 9. So sometimes for me, if it's not possible to be below a 9, I'll just give it a 10. Because most likely it's like near 9.5 for me. So, I go into this film and the score is amazing. I mean, it's like I heard it on my headphones initially, right? So it sounded great. It sounded phenomenal. You hear the searing orchestra just playing and coming in and out through the film. It's like a whole song and dance with just the film itself. You're hearing the orchestra come in and out, and the soundtrack just play and be very expansive, also be very calming, and it's really always to illustrate like what is being showcased in the moment, right? Is the white swan being showcased? It's a very nice stringy, ensemble, or is it the black swan where the goddamn instruments are just going all over the place and it's explosive and expansive and you're hearing it throughout the whole theater, and I'm telling you, it will give you chills. It's beautiful. It's beyond beautiful. I don't even know how to explain how amazing it is. So just for the soundtrack alone, this is one of those films that you have got to see in the theater. So that's just point number one. Number two, the cinematography is like not only just breathtaking, but it's meant to be seen in a theater. There's just so much screen and all in the ways that the director uses the lighting, the framing, the empty spaces. There's even this one beautiful shot where it's like somebody playing a violin and it's taking up all the empty space, and then you have Natalie Portman and the dancer just dancing, and I'm just like, this shot looks beautiful. It's breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. And the close-up shots in the beginning of the film of Natalie Portman behind her, just sort of like this sort of anxious but like very close-up, like you really feel like you're there. I think it's meant to be sort of utilized in the way where a lot of films, they kind of try to get you into their world. They try to like bring you and they try to like convince you like, hey, come into whatever we're trying to expose you to. Let yourself let go a little bit of reality and come join our fantasy. That's basically what most films attempt to do, and some of them really don't get it right at all. They do horrible jobs, but I think this film in almost every single way does it perfectly. You get a good idea of what the girl's like. You get a good idea of her relationship with her mother. You get a good idea of who she is. She's a very calm, shy person, but you get these little instances, even very early on, where you see she's got a little bit of a streak to her. Like, she's got a little mean streak. There's something there. If she's poked and prodded, something will come out. And, that's what a lot of the film sort of starts building upon, because it really starts to talk about this transformation into the Black Swan. It's not only just a transformation onto the Black Swan, which is, in the play. It's very meta too, because she's basically transforming herself, literally. Like, she is becoming this Black Swan. She is becoming a part of the play. And in order to commit to this idea of perfection in her mind, she literally has to reenact every aspect of the play, even if it's like, and it's driven by these hallucinations and these delusions. And so, and that's just the story. Like, I'm telling you, I can go on and on and on about just the ways in which the film is presented and all the little facets, the soundtrack, the cinematography, the acting, the editing. Oh my God, the editing is so good for this film. I'm shocked how good it is, because like I said, especially with the usage of effects and the sort of like magician's trick of like, we're going to switch out the faces, but it looks seamless. It looks seamless. There's so many scenes where it's like a magic trick. And I'm like, whoa, like that looks really good. And I get that we have the technology now to make it look that good. But I like when I'm watching a film and I'm not thinking of that. Sometimes films are too good. And I know that sounds weird where it's too good, but when it's too good, it feels like it's edited. It feels like it's computer generated, Like if you're watching a Transformers film, that's where it's kind of like, yeah, that's in your brain. Like, it's in your brain where you're like, yeah, this is completely computer generated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to question it. In a sort of realistic format, in the way that this film is portrayed, like non-animation, it's rare where you get those films where it just looks seamless. Seriously, I cannot keep stressing out that word enough, because it is all seamless. And I feel like the way that this film is paced is like just like a play. It's just everything flows and it's just so beautiful. And the performances, the dancing, like, I'm not someone that even is crazy about dancing, but I can appreciate the art form, because it is an art. It's like the amount of dedication that these ballerinas put into becoming as prolific as they are in their profession is phenomenal. Like the amount of work, I don't even know how they do that shit. So to portray that in a way where I could feel that And I feel like most audiences can really feel that if you just pay attention to the story and really connect with the characters. It's nothing short of fantastic. Like it's rare where a film will do that. Like I feel like I've seen so many films, and there's certain films where I will like completely, you know, just gush over them and talk about them, in such a light. But it's still like seriously, even all these phenomenal films, these 10 out of 10s, these masterpieces, they're so rare. Like, yeah, you can go on IMDb, you can go online, you can go on these top 10 lists, you can see the best films of all time. Not every film is going to hit with you, by the way. Like one of the films that everybody loves that I've seen online is The Searchers, and I didn't care much at all for that film. Citizen Kane, I watched it. I deeply appreciated it, and I think on a further viewing I may end up loving it, but my first initial take was, I don't like it that much. Even I mean, I still liked it. I still gave it like a 7 out of 10, so don't get me wrong. I was just like, this is really the masterpiece of all masterpiece. I also felt the same way with Vertigo, though. And on a the third viewing, because the second viewing I gave it a 9 out of 10. The third viewing, I was like, yeah, this movie is perfect. The usage of colors and everything. Just, all right, I'm not going to go into all that. This is just still to stress that, like, again, it's rare where you see a film like this. It's rare where it hits everything. And, dude, like, I'm not going to get to the ending yet, but I'm just saying that a lot of what I'm saying now is going to build towards the conclusion part because I think it all comes together just beautifully. But still, I look at a lot of films through the lens of a psychoanalyst because that's what I'm studying. And I kind of just want to present that in my own way, right? Like where my mind was going while I was watching the film. Because a lot of what's presented is, it's the untrusted narrator or whatever that means, like the narrator where you can't trust them, whatever there's a particular name for that. Like Lolita is one of the best examples of that. But that's kind of what this film is. There's so much that you don't really know what's going on. You're being tricked into believing a lot of things. You're seeing the things that she's seeing. You're being presented these situations in the same way that she is because she's basically fooling herself into perfecting this performance. She needs it to encompass her entire life in order for it to be perfect. She never really lets go. She does let go in a sense where it's a part of the performance and it's breathtaking, but in actuality, she's in control the entire time. This person, and it's actually, now when I think about it, it's really interesting that she comes across as this very shy, like do-gooder, which it's so obvious why that is. Clearly her connection with her mother is very much like she's doing everything to be just what her mother wants her to be this very good girl, this good little princess that does everything right, that is perfect, that pursues exactly what the mother wanted, like still stays as a little girl in the house, allows her to do everything. It's like, oh my God, it's just so like much. It's so like, it feels like you're just being strangled by the mother the entire film. Her presence always takes up so much space in the film. Like she's always either like this close to the camera or like she's in a back. It's like she's always somewhere in the house and you could feel her presence, and she's very like overwhelming. She's a very overwhelming character, and I don't know what the actress's name is, but she did a fantastic job, I have to say. I really thought that she was wonderful in a terrifying way. And Mila Kunis is also fantastic. I think she plays the role that she's been given in many films before, but this is kind of her perfect representation of it because it's not utilized as a sort of comedic beat. At times it is, but it's not necessarily that. It's really supposed to drive this, as I would sort of say it from a psychoanalytics standpoint, the id version of what Natalie Portman, has. It's her id. It's this life drive. It's this, need to fuck around, to do whatever the fuck you want, to have sex, to pursue all these things. She even hypersexualizes this woman in her fantasies, even though she is a sexual person, but she's not like all about sex. That's not all that she is. But the way that she's framed in Natalie Portman's mind is, just sex, sex, sex. And I think this is a part of her that she's unable to explore, but that she desperately wants to. And that's why she even has the hallucination of having sex with her, which is one of the sexiest fucking scenes on film. I dare anybody to fucking even like present another one. Please do in the comment section. But so yeah, I guess I can get into the psychoanalytic perspective. So, which I was supposed to a while ago. So I would see Mila Kunis as the id. I would see the mother as the super ego because obviously she's this overwhelming force, wants her to keep being in a lane and be in full control of her in every single way, to always be good, to always do the right thing. So she's clearly the super ego, and obviously, Natalie Portman's character, um, Nina, would be the ego. And it's just a repressed, castrated ego that throughout the film is looking to finally break out, and she finds her way to break out. But as I sort of just said, like, I do still think that it's all her performance. Her entire life is a performance. She's performing for her mother, she's performing for other people, and then she's even performing for herself. And there's a fantasy. I have a fantasy in my head that like she lives afterwards, but I could totally see like this is even constructing the perfect death, right? You find this beautiful story that you relate to on a deep level, on a deep personal level. It's it's so evocative of who you are and what you believe in, and everything that makes you who you are. Like, I feel like for me, I identify with so many films. Probably the one of the biggest ones would be eight and a half. Sorry, Eight and a Half by Fellini. It's a personal film that I highly identify with the character. And so I think Natalie Portman, she finds this beautiful story, uh, this beautiful story of the white swan that ends up sacrificing herself, uh, because she loses love. It's so much evocative of who she is. But again, it's like she finally gets to choose this perfect death. It's like in parts beautiful because the film ends and you're seeing this bright light and you feel like you're dying with her. Like, I know I felt like that. I'm like, wow, this is like kind of the perfect death. You're getting so much cheering and like it's so dramatic, right? It's such a dramatic ending, but it doesn't feel dramatic. Because you feel that the film earned such a dramatic ending. Like, there's films that have ended dramatically and they're just dramatic for dramatic sake. This film feels like it's a dramatic ending, but it's it's well earned. It's very, very beautiful, and I left the movie theater with chills. People were clapping and they were astonished. And again, like, I can't gush enough about this film. I think on the 20th anniversary, the 25th, I'm gonna go back to the theater and watch this film because this is a movie that I personally believe is a modern masterpiece. I can't stress that enough. I cannot find anything wrong with the film, and I don't even. It's one of those few films where I don't even have any interest in doing that. Everything that's presented, the way that it is, the way that it's shot, the way that it's presented, it's nothing short of something that's just going to pull you in. And a random thought that I had just to sort of close out the video is that the film does so much to pull you in the beginning, and then it does everything to push you away. And you know, especially pushing you away after that performance of the Black Swan. Oh, it's just beautiful because, and one quick note, and then I swear I'll end it before 20 minutes. But the entire film, you see her attempting again and again and again to perform the Black Swan. And this time I actually kind of understood what he was talking about. The guy was like, you're a little stiff, you're not sexy enough, you're not letting go. When I first watched it, I was like, yeah, I could see like maybe something be off, but like I felt like I could really see it. Like, I could see her stiffness. She's such a phenomenal dancer, by the way. I know that she went to ballet school, she had previous experience, but wow, wow. But when she finally performs it, oh man, it's awe-inspiring. I think that's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen on film by an actress. Just the form, the physicality, the way that it finally builds up to this grand exposition of just pure art. It had me feeling chills. So I think it's only going to be available until tomorrow in New York. I think other states will have this available. I might actually end up publishing this tomorrow because it is 9:30 right now, and I don't think anybody's going to watch this right now. So I'm going to be posting this at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So I know in New York they only have one showing. It's fine. It's not even the IMAX showing. Go watch it in IMAX. please do yourself a favor and watch this film in IMAX. It is one of the few films, which no, there's plenty of films, but in my mind, it's one of those few films that it's essential viewing in a big theater with like just the full the full theater experience. You need it. You need it. If you love films, you need it. I know I needed it, so I'm completely happy. Thank you guys for watching. I'm not moved out or anything. This is just one of the rooms that I'm almost done packaging everything out of. So I'm gonna be moving out in 10 days from now, and then you guys will see the new place. Have a good one, everybody.